Now, to summarize our chapter 13, or the configuring of a basic WLAN. So, why do we need to secure or configure a WLAN? First, why should we learn this? Well, first we need to configure WLAN to support a remote site, WLC LAN to use management interface, and WPA2 PSK authentication. Then we need to learn how to troubleshoot common wireless configuration issues. So yeah, so when we hear the word WLAN configuration, WLAN means the wireless local area network and configuration. The range, according to Google, configuration means uh, arranging or something in order. So in or synonymous to modifying. So let's talk about the wireless router is what we use for wireless connections. So first, log into the wireless router. To log into the wireless router, just click on the uh you should know the IP address of your router. Yeah, for example, here the default setting is 192.168.1.1 right here. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, it's there. You need to know the IP address of your router to log in. Then go to your web browser and input the IP address. For example, mine is 192.168.1.1. Then it will ask for for an authorization or authentication. the This will do you call this? Ask for the username and password of your router. It can also be seen in this the default username and password, but you should always change it after you configure it to have necessary safety precautions. Yeah, log into the router from a web browser, change the default administrative password, log into a new administrative password, and change the default DHCP IPv4 addresses. Renew the IP address. Renewing the IP address prevents the neighboring users to gain access to your router. So log into the router with a new IP address. So the basic wireless setup it consists of viewing the WLAN defaults. To do this, to view the WLAN defaults, just click into the wireless, and then you can see that there's a 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz band right there. So you need to change or modify or configure the network name or the SSID and the password of your network. Oh yeah, by the way, the SSID means service set identified. Now change the network mode. What will you use for the network? 802.11a or N or AC, like that. In the network mode, we have the auto and only, legacy, and disabled. So you need to click whichever you prefer or what the router needs. So configure the channel. This is the 2.4 gigahertz. Yeah, the range of bandwidth of the channel bandwidth of your router. And then configure the passphrase. Configuring the passphrase ensures that you have a very good or secure connection. Now, configuring a wireless mesh. The mesh is what you see in the channels of your gigahertz or the range or the channel. Yeah, channel. Extending a WLAN in a small office or home has become increasingly earlier. So we need to search the internet for best Wi-Fi mesh network system to find the reviews of current offerings for your specified or preferred type. We have the NAT for IPv4. Note We also have the quality of service. Quality of service is what we really need for our router. Okay, so first, what is the basics of quality of service? Quality of service, just It provides us the best quality that we need for our router. For example, does this router or does this network can this network support 50 people or 50 end clients all at once? Will it not be failing while we are connected simultaneously or whatsoever? So yeah, the QoS, you can always set it up according to our preference. For example, for certain traffic types. For example, the voice and video. These are prioritized over the email and web browsing. So you know that there won't be any fluctuations when you use the video and voice. Okay, so we also have the port forwarding. When the wireless routers typically block TCP and UDP ports to prevent unauthorized access in and out of a LAN. However, there are situations when specific ports must be open. Yeah, so that certain programs and applications can communicate with devices on different networks. Yeah, so when the traffic reaches when the traffic reaches the router determines if the traffic should be forwarded to a certain device based on the port number found with the traffic. So we also have the WLC topology. Okay, so wait, uh, yeah, the WLC. Do you call this? Um, okay, so the WLC means I mean the WLC topology or is the topology that we need for addressing scheme for video for our APs and controllers. So we need to log in the WLC. It is just like okay, first so the WLC means the wireless LAN controller. So our WLC logging into our WLC is just the same as logging into your router. Just simply input your admin username and admin password and then wait for if you are authorized then you can enter your you can gain access to your WLC. Now the, okay, so we on the WLC we will have the network summary. The network summary provides you information about the activities of your access points or routers. So now to view AP information, just click the access point view. Then just you can now view the activities of your AP. Now we also have advanced settings. Advanced settings, yeah, it's not. It is far more complex than the basic setup. The advanced, you can access the advanced summary page. On the advanced, uh, you can see the status of the ports if it is open or if it is not. You can also see if the certain LAN ports are are available or not, if they're connected or not. Now it is very easy to configure a WLAN. Now create the WLAN, then excuse me, apply and enable the WLAN, select an interface, secure the WLAN, verify the WLAN, uh, then monitor, then view the client information. Viewing client information helps you monitor the activities on your WLAN. Now we can now talk about the SNMP and the range of server. To summarize it, the SNMP means okay, excuse me. Okay, to summarize it, the SNMP means a simple network management protocol. From the name itself, simple network management. So this is just a basic You can also, or it's very easy to set up. And then the reduce means the remote authentication dial and user service. Okay, so first of all, the SNMP used to monitor the network. The network administrator wants the WLC to forward all SNMP log messages called traps to the SNMP server. On the radius, it consists of the AAA service, or the authentication, authorization, and accounting. For a recap, the authentication means who are you? Authorization, uh, how much can you spend? Accounting, what did you spend on? So these are just metaphors for that. So excuse me. Ah, yeah. So back to where no. So simply to configure SNMP server information, just click the management tab, then click trap receivers, click new, then yeah, you can now configure your SNMP. And do not forget to click apply after your every configuration to ensure that everything is confirmed. Now to configure a radio server information, you can just simply do what you did to the SNMP, but just what the different big difference is you must go to the security tab, then reduce authentication, then do the same process. Now configuring a DHCP scope is really simple. If you just follow these steps, create a new DHCP scope, name DHCP scope, verify the new DHCP scope, configure and enable, verify then enable. So yeah, so now that we have talked about our configuration, let's talk about the troubleshooting of the WLAN issues. So we have certain things to follow when troubleshooting. It is just like creating an experiment or a scientific project or as research. So what do we do in research and scientific experiments? First, okay, so for example, we have a problem. Okay, we have a problem. So the approach will be, first step is to identify the troubleshooting or identify the problem. Okay, so identifying the problem, uh, identify the problem. Then establish a theory of probable causes. Test the theory to determine the cause. Establish a plan of action to resolve the problem and implement the solution. Then verify full system functionality and implement preventive measures. Document findings, actions, and outcomes. Yeah, so do not forget to document the findings. It can be used to for future references. Okay, so what do we do when wireless client is not connecting? Uh, when troubleshooting a WLAN, a process of elimination is recommended. So, if to confirm the connection between the network and the PC, use the ipconfig command. If the verify that the PC has received an IP address via DHCP. Okay, so confirm that the device can connect to the network. If necessary, reload drivers as appropriate for the client. Okay, so now what will happen if the wireless NIC is not working or is working? I mean, check the security mode and encryption settings on the client. If the security settings do not match, the client cannot gain access to the WLAN. So we need everything, all of our modules to become suitable, or do you call this one suitable or forgot suitable or appropriate? Yeah, appropriate. So when the network is low, we can always troubleshoot it through upgrading our wireless clients. Maybe our wireless clients doesn't support the 802.11b, G, N. So the best performance is of all wireless devices should support the same highest acceptable standards. Now, splitting the traffic can also is the can also solve our issue. The easiest way to improve this, splitting into 2.4 gigahertz band and the 5 gigahertz band. Here in the Philippines, 5 gigahertz band is not yet supported. Yeah, not readily available in proper terms. It is not. There are some that can provide it, but it is not readily available. So if you see multi-band routers, you just use 2.4 gigahertz rate. Yeah, so that is why. So okay, updating the firmware. Okay, updating the firmware is so easy. Just know if just check the status of your device, your router or your AP. If it doesn't, if it has updates, yeah, it would show an update for this wireless router is ready. It is last updated on April 7, 2019, and yeah. Okay, so now an upgrade version, new upgrade version. Okay, so upgrade it as much as possible if your network can handle it. Yeah, most of the times your network can handle it. Update your firmware. Updating your firmware will give you the latest updates or latest functions of your firmware and can increase your internet speeds, your network speeds, yeah, and your security can all improve it, your security like that. If you update your firmware, yeah. Okay, so what happens in the firmware? Yeah, when the access points firmware is up to date, you can gain full access or full advantage of it. Okay, so that is it for our summary for our WLAN configuration. And I hope that you have learned something from this. Yeah, so thank you.